Well, namaste and greetings from India. My friend Tina from Sweden and we are back with the fifth edition of When East Meets West. Today's topic is very interesting.
Mm.
The new dance of relevance. And who are the two dancing partners? AI and the human being. So, welcome, folks. Tina.
Mm.
AI is sweeping the world like a tidal wave
Yes,
across
that's
cultures, across countries, across ages. And there seems to be a race for adoption of AI. And the popular sentiment being we need to move fast
mm,
or we will become irrelevant.
mm,
I'm seeing this thing in India
mm.
in certain segments, not
Yeah.
all. What is the scene in Sweden? What are you experiencing?
Mhm. Thank you. I think that's a very great opening here for me to start on. And I first would like to say good morning in Sweden and Scandinavia. It's 10 o'clock. I also like to say Happy Lucia because we have Lucia times, and that is a saint that we are celebrating. The darkest, almost the darkest day of the year to lighten up. So happy Lucia. And also, thank you for that question. I think yes, it's going on, and it's not only in Sweden. We can see it in Europe in general here. And I feel a lot. I see a lot, but I can first summarize a little bit what happened with the industry. In the region where I live, we can see that companies like Novo Nordics, they lay off 5,000 people. 5,000 people. It's a lot in our region. We have Volvo, we have Scania, we have other companies. They are laying off people. You have consultancies that has to start looking for other sort of positions and jobs. And it seems to be very scary, and people are afraid, Sandeep. So I would say there is right now a fear in the air, a fear of losing job, and a feeling of that it's hard to put the finger on what's really going on. And I think it's many things going on at the same time. It is not only AI and digitalization, it's also the geopolitical scene here. But we focus on AI here because that's the topic of today. And that is that when I meet people and talk with people, the first basic thing is a reaction of fear of losing job. And that is based on I can't control it. What's going on? I'm going to be replaced. And that is the feeling of that I don't know what kind of role will I have in the next 6 months. And this is where I come in and I say, as a coach, AI is not going to replace you. And you don't need to know everything about AI. That's another thing that I learned is that I need to learn the language model. I need on a deep level to understand. And that's the academic take on it. And I say, no, you just need to learn to work and collaborate with AI. Because the thing is, there is an army of agents coming in, and this is a wonderful breakfast meeting of Cairo Future. They show this picture of robot machines. They were just standing there queuing to be put into work by humans. So, with that said, yes, many jobs will disappear, but many more jobs will be created. And now it's time for the human to start to think differently, work differently to make themselves relevant for the future. That is one thing. The other one, if you say the Western way, is commonly that we start to experiment a lot fast. And then we create some sort of beta version. I'm not an exception. You see, the latest book I've created is a beta version because I want audience and readers' feedback. So it was written in 2 weeks, beta that. You know, as a coach, Sandy, what that means. it can be a feeling of chaos in companies and people's mind because we don't take time to reflect. And that is, where adaptability going to be extremely important. Adapt in small steps, small sprints, because technology is moving faster than what we human can manage. So small steps. Try to avoid to look too much into the future because that we can't control right now. So this is my take on it, and now I see what you make of that.
Well, I think, in India, this scene is somewhat different.
Yeah,
And it could be because the education levels are different.
yeah,
It could be because the size is different.
yeah,
With the number of people we have and the number of people Europe has, not only Sweden, I think
mm,
there's a huge difference.
mm,
What I see is that the adoption of AI is more of a talk, a good thing for the conferences, for the seminars, board meetings,
okay,
but not in general adoption. Still, the adoption rate is low over
mm,
here. Well, uh, certain functions, like let's say marketing, market intelligence, research, where AI is really gaining currency. But then we also have a very large MSME segment, mid-size and small entrepreneur segment.
mm,
And since, they're like the mom and pop shops or the mom and pop factories, which we have in Europe or US, they're one man run organization or establishments, one person rules or one family rules. Adoption is very low over there. And it's not this that they're not progressive. They are progressive
mm,
in their thought, but probably it's the Indian mindset or the Indian culture
mm.
not to experiment too much. Yeah.
Not to experiment. It's interesting because I actually wrote a little note. I was up to ask you because I googled a bit and I coach people from India and I get that I wrote it like this: the East could be a bit of caution, but you a bit caution, discipline, and long term thinking. When you try to think in a very long term, it's sort of a cautious way of working forward. And that's, of course, works a little bit against, this very quick adaptation.
Hmm.
But now I'm very interested because we maybe do a little bit of the opposite. And this is also what I feel sometimes. I do it myself and I adapt and it's so fast. So I forget, maybe I should start to think differently, and take feedback on the way. And if we combine this, the Eastern mindset with the Western mindset, Sandeep, what could we fuse together there? How could we help each other?
Well, I would say one thing:
Yeah,
thesis,
yeah,
right? That is, you have created a thesis.
mm,
Now, the Indian mindset, which is slow in adoption, is creating another
mm,
thesis.
mm.
Both of us need to write an antithesis. You need to slow down.
We need to slow down.
We need to accelerate,
Yeah.
and then join hands and create the synthesis.
Yeah, I believe that could be something. So I say, if we could combine the sort of feedback system
Yeah.
from the both cultures, that we have is sort of sprints. Sorry, here I'm stuck here. Yeah, so in short sort of sprint system, then you get balance in how you adapt and move forward. And that was the take I took from this breakfast meeting. That was so interesting that AI is developing like that, but the human brain is so we need to take it in very, very small steps forward in a company if a company is going to survive, basically. But you need sometimes to shock the people. But it's important. And now I wrote actually a little bit here that we need to understand that you have an army of agents coming in, but what the human adds to all of this is empathy, critical mindset, and creativity. And that part we need to take care of, and that needs reflection. So if you're too fast, the sort of critical mindset might, lacking behind. Yeah.
Tina, the other thing, which I see being discussed and talked about, and which I believe is creating a lot of fear world over. So in India, is
Mm,
AI can decide and take intelligent decisions. AI can decide and make intelligent decisions. What are your thoughts on this phenomenon or this theory
mm,
which is gaining currency, at least in India?
mm. You have to be very careful here. This is a moment where um, you have a machine, you have an agent, and that agent can work non-stop for you, with you. But as a human, and I go back to the analog, it might be not a very good one. I'm open open for that. But I remember, I'm old enough to remember when I was in school and I was studying math. And I was the first generation where they allowed to use a calculator. And there was a huge debate whether this was good or bad, because they said younger people must learn to calculate
Mhm.
manually. But what they learned and the take from it was years later that those people that actually could calculate manually could use the calculator more efficiently. And this is my take on AI, that in order to use AI efficiently, you need to have your own knowledge so you can use, let's say, the human skills of analyzing and be critical, because you can't trust. If you think, the AI machine is a human being, the AI can be very wrong and draw the wrong conclusions. And I have tested it myself, yeah, by asking questions or prompting to AI to push it in a direction where I know it's going to be maybe not correct. And it sounds completely correct. And I say to the AI machine, do you know what? Are you really sure about this? And I'm prompting, oh, you're correct. That's right. No, it was probably. And I said, thank you for pleasing me, but I don't want it to please me. So this is, where we come back to something, and I don't know how to express that, but if you and I, Sandeep, going to start working and collaborating together, we need to build a relationship so we learn to communicate and ask questions as coaches, so I learn, and then I can analyze what you say. And this is where I give my workshops, and I talk with people and say, hey, you don't need to know the language model, but treat AI critically as you treat the person. You can't rely on the machine 100. You are in charge to see whether what comes out is correct or not. And you in the charge in the end,
And this brings me to two very interesting examples.
Yeah.
I was invited to speak somewhere. It was an AI. One of the topics was AI and how do you manage AI, the AI ethics, etc. So I asked ChatGPT, can you please tell me how do you fool me? Can you please tell me how do you make a fool out of me? And the ChatGPT said, here are the 10 factors, and this is the way I can fool you. And I fool you. Brilliant. Thank you.
Oh, really? Thank you.
My talk was done. You see, because I had the material for my talk.
Yeah.
On a serious note, but this was a real
Mm,
life incident. On a serious
yeah.
note, I read in the newspaper, I think it was 2 days back or 3 days back. Now, Supreme Court is the highest court of law in India.
Mm,
So one of the advocates submitted a list of 20 cases before the bench, that is the judges.
mm,
When the judges got the cases verified, they found that out of the 20, 15, and 16 cases did not exist. So when they questioned the advocate or the lawyer,
mm, mm,
"Oh, where
mm.
did you get these things?" The lawyer said, "Well, sir, I relied on AI."
Exactly, exactly.
So what AI had done, it had fabricated cases
Mm,
and presented them.
mm. And it looks real.
And it looks real. And,
Yeah, it
and I
does.
have been arguing for a long time that look, AI has got the propensity to convert fiction into reality.
Mm,
And AI is incapable of catching that fictional reality
mm,
because it is believing, and this is the place where human beings come. So, therefore, I say AI can throw up good data, research data, help you to save time, but cannot
mm.
take decisions on your part. You take.
No, and that's a really important that statement. AI is not taking my
Yeah.
decision. I am accountable for my
Yes.
decisions, and this is so important. Because I really want to share it because I learned about AI very early on. I was basically queuing because I could see the potential of being more efficient. You know, I'm Scandinavian. I like to be efficient, and I am nowadays 3 years later more or less dependent on my machine. It has become my partner in crime when it comes to run my company in many ways. It makes my life so much more efficient. And I like because I have dyslexia and not a severe one, but a mild one. And it has, I'm also very, very abstract in my mindset. I'm a deep thinker. So I can be confusing when I talk with people because I'm thinking and then everything comes out at the same time and people can't really follow me. And that has been a handicap, Sandeep. But with the machine, I have a partner that can help me concretize what I actually want to say and structure things and help me actually to understand certain things and concepts and context better than I do. But I'm still in charge. It helps me to write article. It come up with
Mhm.
idea. It helps me to organize basically my workforce doing slides and etc. And this is, for me, a complete revolution. And I would also frankly say that both my English and my German has become better
Mhm.
because I am collaborating with someone that actually gives me very gentle feedback. So, it's not badly written, Tina, but I would phrase it like this. So, what tone would you like? Oh, yeah, right, thank you. So I learn a lot. So my English has exploded basically after AI. So it's hard to say, is it me or the AI that learn, or is it some sort of collaboration
Mhm.
here? And I think that is my experience. Then, of course, I agree with you. I can never, it's my decision. What comes out from the machine, I am accountable over. And I have to be critical. Mm.
So, what I hear from you is that you're using AI as a co pilot.
It's a co-pilot, yeah.
You are
Absolutely.
not handing
Agent.
over
It's
the
my agent.
joystick to AI. Now,
Mm.
unfortunately, what I see in one segment in India, and especially the younger segment,
Yeah.
right, they are handing over the joystick
The joystick. Yeah.
to AI.
Yeah.
Now, this girl, who used to do this marketing stuff for me.
Mm.
So she said, "Sir, can we write certain posts for you?" I said, "Yeah, please try." One post, I found it good. Second post, good. And then I said, "Tell me one thing. You have shifted the topic, you have shifted the sentiments, but the language is the same.
Yeah, yeah,
The
right.
grammar is the same. The dashes are the same." So we are using ChatGPT.
Mm.
So, well, on one hand, like AI is definitely helping me save time, is giving me
Mm.
a starting point.
Mm.
I don't have to spend hours going through books.
mm.
But then somewhere it is also communicating to the people, if I'm not careful, that this is AI generated. Sandeep has not put in his mind into it.
It's not your mind into it. Exactly. And
It-
that's, that's the dangerous part of it, isn't it?
Therefore, please don't take it seriously.
This is again, and this was very early on.
Yeah.
It was, I think, a podcast conference in the United States. And if you see my latest book, Co-Creating Careers with AI, I have a disclaimer in the
Yeah.
disclaimer that it is a collaboration between me and the machine.
Yeah.
So I'm very, very open with it. But I completely agree with you. It's spot on because what I can also see with younger people, and now coming back to the calculator, that if you have maybe limited knowledge in a field, let's say psychology or coaching or therapy, and you go to the machine and try to get a diagnosis on you, this is what we can see a little bit happening. That's dangerous because you can just confirm what you think you have, and there is no profession behind it. And this is also where I come in with my book and say, you have the coach, you have the client, and you have the AI, but coach is here. Yeah, it's not the AI machine that's going to put any diagnosis in here. And as a coach, we don't put diagnosis in, but as I am the driver and the facilitator as a coach, I don't leave that to the machine. And this is something I have heard and read about. I haven't experienced it, but I suspect it sometimes with my clients that hmm, the idea you got about the resume, where did you get that from? And I suspect it could be from the machine. And I said, we need to take a second thought about it realistically. Facts. Let's look at it. Yeah. And this is important. This is the human aspect. Never give the joystick to the machine.
Yes, I totally agree
So,
with you. Ankit, who's working for you, who's working for me, right?
yeah, wonderful guy, great
Great
guy.
guy. And like I work in the space of consciousness and profitability, you work in the space
Mm,
of adaptability, right?
mm,
So again, whatever he writes, I've told him very clearly, I said, Ankit, nothing would be published unless and until I approve it.
mm,
For the
mm,
simple reason he's not an expert.
exactly.
He only knows the amount I have told him or you have told him.
Mm,
So again, if we land up giving the joystick in his hands for our convenience, for our laziness, for we being in the comfort zone, not being challenged,
mm,
probably we'll land up repeddling the same thing which we have been peddling for long. And
mm.
in that, by not being actively involved in the process, something wrong could go against our name also.
Yeah, 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 I agree.
Okay, now, yeah, you.
I actually have one little question for you, and I said that before we started
Yeah.
the live show. I want your perspective on it to help me. You see, I'm coaching and working with a lot of people from academia, give workshops and so. And there is a red line here. It's something, they have in common, and I like your perspective on it. And maybe for those who listen here who have more a long academic training, stay maybe 10, 15 years in academia as a PhD or even postdoc and higher, they are usually extremely, compared to industry, the mindset is very, very different. So when I come in and give my workshops, and to give you the context, we just are there to learn to use AI to navigate and figuring out based on energizing skills, based on Holland's theory, so we can get an idea of what Sandeep in this case get energy from doing that could indicate a future job field. And it's just a hands-on how to use it, exploration, broadening. It's not theory,
Hmm.
nothing. But I get usually from these people extremely, criticism or some skepticism that the machine, they want to know exactly how the machine works. They are very skeptic how to use it. And actually AI skeptic in general. But when I do the same thing with people in industry, oh, they see an extra tool to
Mhm.
use to explore. And that is huge mindset difference between these two. And I like to hear from you what perspective you have on that. So you also help
Okay.
me and maybe my clients and workshop participants.
Tina, I've trained around 1,000 college professors
Yeah.
in various workshops, in the space of mindfulness and consciousness.
Mm,
Now, consciousness is a very subjective area. There are multiple theories.
mm.
You know what I used to do? I
Nope.
said, look, guys, I am not dealing with the professor or the teacher.
Mm,
I'm dealing with the human being.
mm,
If the human being understands, the professor and the teacher will automatically understand. Like your students take you at your face value, what you are saying,
mm,
because they assume you to be an expert for these 4 hours, 5 hours. For God's sake, take me at my face value. If it makes sense to you after 5 hours, retain it.
mm,
If it doesn't make sense to you, junk it.
mm,
And all my interventions, had some exercises, had some self assessment tools which pushed them to think. And then in the last bit, I would get the subjective issues into play. By that time, they were more accepting, more open, more flexible, more adaptable.
mm.
Yes, out of 100, 10 were still skeptical.
Yeah, 10%. That's my number too. 10 to 15%.
Okay.
Yeah.
But they are not skeptical to what you are teaching. They are not skeptical to AI. They're skeptical to life in general and they're skeptical to everything because
Mm.
they don't want to change.
Exactly.
AI, in this case, consciousness in my case, were only excuses. Like in the corporate world, we say lifting the corporate veil, which means if you lift the veil, you get to know exactly what the company is thinking and doing.
Mm.
Public perception and inner reality. So that's the difference. So the inner reality of this 10-15% is they have to object, they have to be skeptic, they have to argue for anything and everything.
Yes. Thank you, Sandeep.
And one thing more, and I found one thing more.
Yeah, yeah, please.
Out of 100, 25, 30 people would be ready to accept
Mm,
and move on.
mm,
15, 10 to 15 will not. And 60 people would be sitting on the fence. If you allow these 15 to grow, the 60 would follow the 15. If you allow the 30 to grow, the 60 would follow the 30.
mm.
So this is my assessment. And this is what I used to do. I used to say, please keep the teacher out. Please keep the
Yeah,
officer
please
out.
keep the teacher out. Yeah, right, right. And
Yeah.
that, this critical mindset can flash back. And then my take, and just another one, because this is so, what you express here is so good. And please listen to what Sandeep say here, because it's really, really good. Because when we then talk about navigating careers into the future, and you want to go from academia to industry, your mindset need to be shifted. And that is why when I am in industry, it's very rarely you have a sort of critical mindset in the same way. They phrase things looking forward, much more growth inspired. So, what advice, Sandeep, would you give to these people who maybe now reckon, yeah, maybe I am these 10, 15%. What advice would you give them? Oh, I would appreciate that from you.
I'll say, I'll just say one thing: forget everything, man.
Mm,
Open yourself up.
mm,
Accept life as it is.
mm.
Learn the art of accepting reality as it is. Period. Don't try to see meaning. Do it for a month.
Mm.
Then we'll talk.
Yeah, then we talk. Wow, that's powerful. That's powerful.
You see, because if they are standing in front of you or sitting in front of you like a wall, not allowing anything to penetrate, you might spend 6 months with them. And I'm talking of human nature, my experience. You will achieve nothing.
Mm, mm,
And if you can help them to be, excuse me, flexible and adaptable, open,
mm.
then you got very bright chances to help them.
Then you have very bright chances on the labor market. Yeah.
Yeah,
But you have to open up. You have to open up. You have to let it go.
let it go.
Let it go. Let it go.
Yes.
Just embrace that I'm not an expert any longer.
Mm.
I might not even know what I'm doing in 6 months, and it's okay. Easy said, but that's sort of the mindset that we need to move into. And this is, what I call the unseen, to embrace that I don't know today. But if I just continue to believe and do my work and trust the process, and maybe
Mm.
even trust Tina, I will sign a contract in 6 months.
Yes.
Mm.
So this is what excuse me, this is what I tell my clients.
Yeah, yeah.
Open up, come back to me,
Mm.
we'll work.
We work, yeah.
Yeah. Because, Tina, I firmly believe you and I, as a coach, can only do 10%.
Hmm.
90% has to be done by the person
Yep.
himself or herself.
Yep.
You can only show the torch. The walk has to be undertaken by the person.
Mm. Mm. True. I can only facilitate 10.
Yes, you can just
Yeah.
tell them how to walk.
Yeah.
That's it. And on
That's
what
it.
path. And interestingly, I'm just digressing from the AI thing, since we are talking of this thing.
Yeah.
Uh, a client of mine, she rang me up from Korea. She was an Indian. She was in
Mm.
Korea. Sir, I'm in a fix. What should I do? I said, I'm not telling you make your own decision.
Mm.
You got to stand on your own feet.
Mm.
Whatever you think best, do it.
Do it. Yeah.
And that changed her life.
Mhm.
Okay, now let's get back to our AI stuff.
Yeah.
What is
But it is a
happening?
little bit of AI in it because it's such a huge change. So,
Yeah,
yeah. So, but yeah, I agree. But thank you. I would like to first thank you, Cindy. It was very good,
thank you.
helpful. Mm.
Uh, with AI, a lot of challenges have come up.
Mm.
Number one, crime has gone up,
Mm.
social bashing has gone up,
Mm.
social shaming has gone up.
Yep.
With deep fakes,
Mm.
people have started, harming the reputation of men and women,
Mm.
more so of women. And, and it's become a free for all today.
Yeah.
And society is suffering. I personally
Mm.
believe it is suffering.
It is suffering. You can feel it. Yeah.
You
It's in
can
the
feel
air,
it.
as we say. Yeah.
And in this area, I don't think there's any distinction between the East or the West.
No, I don't think so either.
It's happening everywhere.
Mm. It
and the
is.
tendencies are the same. So, at least in India, there's a huge, huge move. How do we get laws into place which can help us to manage AI better?
Mm,
Okay, now that is the civil society or the government saying we need laws, we need protocols, we need frameworks so that social bashing, social corruption, social crime reduces. Whereas the people who are creating AI,
mm.
they say we will address ethics as the framework evolves. So, in simple words, while the government and civil society are saying we should have ethics,
Mm.
the people who are creating AI don't want ethics. Because if they are ethics, it makes their life more difficult and obviously it becomes more challenging for them also, and a lot of stuff would go out. What is the thought process in Europe and in Sweden?
To be honest, the discussions I haven't really followed, but I have been, I'm back to that some people don't want to regulate, some people like to regulate. And I will give just shortly my sort of fear. We had recently in Sweden something called shut control that could allow people to, go read, backtrack and read and have access to my WhatsApp and Signal, these communication apps. And I was very critical to such a tool because if we allow that, we open a door that criminal people also can use.
Mhm.
Yeah. So there are always two sides of the coin, and European Union has controlled AI a lot. That's why the industry is suffering here now because it's differently controlled in the United States. But my take on it is that frameworks, law, and regulations will always be slower than the progress.
Mhm.
So I don't have an answer on it. This is, maybe the scary part because the more I think about it, if we start to control, my take on it, there are always going to people that are going to misuse that control. So the people that take decision on controlling something, if they are good people, it could be good. But let's say these people in the future are maybe not the good ones. What happened then? So though I am in a process where I can't really make up my mind because the more I think about it right now, I know too little. I try to see things from if we take a decision today, what consequence could that
Mhm.
be in 10 years? Is this law so permanent it will be hard to take it back? I don't think that's good because a law written can always be misused. And we've seen that on social media. We have seen it in Sweden that things were cancelled because they said you have the wrong opinion. Wrong opinion to whose perspective? It depends on the perspective. And people were cancelled and lost their accounts on Facebook, for example. So I am very careful when it comes to, and I don't think I'm the expert. I can only sort of philosophy around it. But I think we need to have open eyes, and I'm back to adapt. I think we constantly will have to evaluate sort of but right now I don't think we really know where the world is going. I'm not really sure we can sort of control what's going to happen here in the future. We think we need to adapt, and we need to maybe adapt in a way that we after. Let's put it this way: when ChatGPT, I used it the first time, I had no idea that I was going to use it in the way I do today. So the question is how I will use AI in the next 3 years, and I don't know.
Mhm.
So the development of the machines and the technology is so fast. So the frameworks and regulations, I don't know if, and I'm more scared of the regulations comes in the wrong hands and will be used in the wrong way.
Well, Tina, my idea of asking this question was ethical AI use
Mm,
is a big, big concern for
mm,
societies
mm,
across the globe.
mm.
And it is only when people like us have a dialogue, we express
Mm.
our personal
Express.
opinion.
Mm.
That momentum, that builds the momentum, that builds the base. Now, look, you have expressed your opinion today. Now, this is going to stay on LinkedIn
Mm,
or the other platforms where it is being streamed,
mm.
and AI is going to pick it up. Okay? And when AI picks similar ideas or opposing ideas, say 100 of them, then a statement comes out and that awakens society. So, my
Mm.
idea was to have just your opinion, your personal
Yeah.
thoughts, because you work with the industry, you work with leaders,
Mm.
you work with academia.
And thank you for that, because I get the questions sometimes from companies, and I just say, honestly, I don't know where we are going,
Mhm.
but this is what I know.
Yes,
And this is about the framework that, and honestly, I could be wrong. So I have to come back in a year, Sandeep, and say, Sandeep, I was wrong. I changed my
uh,
mind. And this is also something that's so important, I think, that we must acknowledge that we, in this perspective, might not be experts.
yes. So it's not a question of being an expert, right?
Mm,
You're not taking a position. An expert takes a position. You're not taking
mm,
a position. You're expressing yourself, right?
mm,
And there's nothing wrong and right. And I would like to tell everyone
mm.
there's nothing wrong and right. This is your perception at this point of time.
This
Period.
point of time, perfect. That was perfectly said. This
Right?
point of time, maybe
Yes.
not 1 year, maybe
Tomorrow.
not even next week.
No, even tomorrow it could change because
Mm,
just now and tomorrow you might have a new experience.
yeah,
You might get some new knowledge.
exactly, exactly.
That is the process we human beings evolve
Yeah,
and grow.
it is. It is. I
Our
agree.
thoughts constantly get refined.
Mm,
And again, this is the place where AI cannot match up with human beings. This process of mental refinement. Because AI is static in nature,
mm,
it functions within the well defined 0 and 1. You see, the entire logic is yes or no. The 0 and 1 is called the Boolean thing. So AI functions within what has been defined. But whereas we human beings grow when we think when we think beyond what is not defined. Could I make my point?
yeah, you made a very clear point. I like it. Yeah, I'm listening here.
Yeah.
Edelers.
Right. So AI works within a fence created by we human beings, and to expand the fence, we got to think beyond the fence. Only then you could include the beyond within the fence.
Mm.
And AI does not have that power. Otherwise, it would be science fiction, like when we were kids, we used to read that the machines are ruling. Like, or, like when my son was young, he used to laugh. I used to, why are you laughing? I was just wondering, like, we take our doggy out for a walk. If tomorrow the doggy takes us out for a walk,
Yeah, may very well be so. And I remember a dog, and I went in the wrong direction, and the dog looked at me. No, we usually go that direction. The dog didn't say no to go to the right, but you wonder, are you sure you're going to go to the right? Because yesterday it was left.
Uh,
Yeah, yeah, that's one of it.
okay, Tina, one more question
Yeah.
before it's 45 minutes. So, one more question, the last question.
Mm,
The leaders,
mm,
large number of leaders believe that whatever comes, whatever there's new in the market, they need to know everything about it. So the question is, do leaders really need to know everything and understand everything about AI tools?
No, no, they don't. Um, now I'm going to say something here, and you're very welcome to reflect on that one. And no, they don't. Leaders, future leaders, must be facilitators.
Mhm.
And they have a team that each part of the team plays a role in that one. And if the leader needs to know everything, they're going to limit their team. So they need to let go. They need to let go. Okay, I was wrong. It doesn't mean you lose your authority, because your authority will grow with you delegating to the team. So, but I would say here that AI, let's see how to phrase it. AI doesn't replace leaders. It could expose them.
Okay, interesting, interesting.
Yeah, it could expose them, because if you as a leader lack clarity, empathy, and direction, that could be that you as a leader have challenges to vision and live with the unknown, that you must know every step and have a challenge to express. Dear team, I have no idea what's going to happen in 6 months, but let's focus on what we know today and focus on that sort of fluffy goal that this group, this company is moving in that direction.
Brilliant. So, one second. Carry on, carry on.
Take care, Sandeep. Yeah,
You see,
I
sir,
know the
what I
feeling.
hear from you in this dance of relevance,
Mm,
if which is between AI and the human beings,
mm.
if the leaders and the human beings need to win the trophy, they need to keep upgrading themselves, upskilling themselves
Yeah, you need
in terms of the human attributes,
human.
human values, human centricity, and at the same time, getting to know their partner much closer.
Yes.
But,
And I like to add to that. Yeah, sorry.
but not allowing the partner to lead them.
No,
This is what I was saying.
that's very important. That's a very, sorry for interrupt. That's very important. I'd just like to add for those, because I know we have some followers in career, that in career, your future success to nail a job, to transition in your job to something else, lies in how you develop yourself as a human, not your technical skills.
So, with this, folks, we end today's session. I hope you enjoyed it. Join us again next Saturday, same time, and Tina would be leading it next Saturday. So till then, bye bye. Namaste from
Bye
India.
bye. And hej då från Sverige, and goodbye from Scandinavia, Malmö, Copenhagen Metropolitan, from Tina.